So I'm Jan Schroeder.
I'm Chris Schroeder.
And this is week 2 for us in Lagos. And we thought this week we'd talk to you about what it's like to actually be here, or as Chris says, being embedded here. So we're going to talk about transportation, how do we get around, and going to the supermarket and the liquor store, and the language here.
And the bakery.
And the bakery.
And the
definitely going to the bakery.
And the oyster house.
Oh, and we're also going to show you our apartment so you can see what that's like.
And we're going to have a lesson at the end from our tour guide who will teach you 1,000 words in Portuguese in 2 minutes.
So let's start about transportation. So we took a train here, and it's easy to get around Portugal in trains. But now that we're in Lagos, we have the opportunity to take buses. There's also a little tourist train that goes around town. But mostly we've done a lot of walking.
We've done a lot of walking. I've started running again on the beach. It's great. Every morning there are a lot of people out there running. It's wonderful.
Tell them about your first walk.
Oh yes, well on the very first morning, I just wanted to get out, and I just wandered out. I was just going to do a short little run through the old part of town. I just kind of wanted to go find what the Atlantic or Mediterranean looked like, and so I just took off, and I got lost. It was great. I had no phone, no map, no money. Got totally lost.
Not my kind of trip.
I had no wife on the trip. I got back, and she was a little worried because I was maybe running late. She was texting me. I was not answering, but it was so great. It was a glorious walk. Great day in Lagos.
Well, one thing, it's actually the Atlantic Ocean and not the Mediterranean. So, and also I learned what the emergency number is in Portugal. So if you want to know, you dial 112, because I'm thinking if he never shows up again, what am I going to do? So Chris and I actually have different definitions for knowing where you are can be. So for him, knowing where he is can be, he looks around and goes, well, I'm still on the planet Earth, and I think I'm still in Portugal. All is good. Whereas I'm the kind that likes to have a map. So we had a little adventure today, didn't we, Chris?
A map and a GPS and it going all the time, knowing exactly where we are, and the person talking to us telling where we are.
Yeah, kind of.
A little adventure today. We were just going to take a little walk down the beach and find an oyster farm that our neighbors have been telling us about. That was just 6 miles or so down the beach. We heard it was 1.5 miles.
Not so much.
Turned out to be a little longer.
Yeah.
Anyway, we hope you enjoy the video. We're in the Porto train station headed toward the Algarve and our month, and it's October 1, Saturday. It's great traveling around Portugal on the train because they're very comfortable, they're very efficient, and if you're a senior, very affordable. Only 7.5 hours later, 3 trains, 8 bags, about to begin our big adventure here in the Algarve of Portugal. All the trains that might have been a little late, the next one waited for us, which was great. And the entire trip in first class, only €30, which is great for seniors, a little bit more if you're younger than us.
Hey, this was Chris's idea to walk from the train station, but I will give you a tip about Portugal. It is not easy to drag a suitcase on these lovely Portuguese pavers. And for his sake, I hope we're getting pretty close. Okay, we're about to go and see our home for a month for the very first time, so let's go see what it's like. Wow. Let's see, we've got, here's the living room, a table, TV. Yay, we have a balcony. Okay, so, and then here we've got, oh, it's a big spacious balcony. Let's go check this out. will be really nice to come out here and sit, have a drink, and it's quite nice. So, oven, that's a good thing. I don't know what this is. I guess this is a cabinet. Oh, dishes go here. Dishwasher, toaster. Here's the bathroom. And hallelujah, there's a bathtub, because I really like to have a bathtub. And if you've traveled a lot around the US, you notice the bathtub is disappearing out of a lot of hotel rooms. So I'm very excited to see this. Here's another thing we noticed in Portugal. They don't really use shower curtains. They use these instead, which actually probably makes more sense. Okay, and now here's the bedroom. All right, more closet space. I think this is going to be a lovely place to spend the month of October. So that was an adventure. That was our first big shop at a supermarket, because we basically needed everything. We're going to be here a month, so we needed lots of food. And we're a little tired of eating out, so we wanted to make some meals at home. So here's all the stuff we got. We got almost everything we wanted. We went to Lidl, and all of this together was 136 euro, which we think is pretty awesome. Portugal is a very easy country to come to if you don't speak the language, particularly in the parts where we've been. We've been traveling in Lisbon and Porto area, where just about everyone you meet will speak English, and menus are often in English, so it's pretty easy to get around. We did download Google Translate on our phones, and you can do it offline, so if you're out somewhere and you don't have service, you can do that. However, what we found is English everywhere except at the grocery store. So we weren't exactly sure of some of the things we were buying. We aren't sure about, we think we're going to be able to use this in our, we do have a washing machine, which will be our next challenge. Think I can use this in the washing machine? Not positive, we'll find out.
We don't like eating at restaurants every night, so we like to come to the Wednesday market where the local farmers bring bread and all kinds of produce.
So we're in luck because Lagos has 2 a week. They have one every Wednesday afternoon, and then the bigger one's on Saturday morning, which we're at right now. The fun part is it's all in kilos, so we don't really know how much we're getting or how much anything costs till we pay. That's part of the fun. So we're in Garcia's, which is an amazing bottle shop, as some people call it, and we found everything we need as far as alcoholic. Some things we have found are really inexpensive here. For example, our fever tree that we love is like less than 2 euros. So that's been a really great deal. This also is sparkling water flavored, and it's less than 2 euros. Chris found some Irish whiskey that he's very excited about.
Many bourbons you'd think couldn't be made outside of Kentucky, but they're licensed to be produced in the EU, and they have different flavors that you don't actually find in America. Been leading Jan on a long walk today at the beach. She's not too happy about it.
I didn't know it was going to be this long, and I didn't bring any water.
Of course. It was longer than I suspected, and she trusted me that it was going to be okay. Again, her mistake. Mistake.
This is Chris helping me navigate these treacherous rocks.
We were told if we just kept walking, we'd see 1, maybe 2 oyster farms. These are oyster farms that serve the French restaurants, because the Portuguese apparently don't love oysters as much as the French, or me. Thinking this could be an oyster farm. The dogs are running toward it. We're walking toward it. Sure hope so. So it's great in these mid-October days in Lagos, where it's still really warm in the Algarve. Our community apartment has a great swimming pool, so it's great to meet the neighbors here, and also at those long walks where you go to oyster farms, you're really kind of sweaty. Take a dive in what is a really cold pool. So at the end of a almost successful trek to find the oyster farm, it was just a 6-mile walk there?
I think it was 27 miles actually.
27-mile, 6-mile walk. We went the old-fashioned route and got oysters here at Pearl Oyster Bar. It's wonderful. We got our beer, we got our wine, we got our oysters.
And by we got our oysters, he means he, because I don't eat oysters, but he did get me a glass of wine. Sold.
Hello guys, my name's Brody. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, but I have been living out here in Lagos for 15 years now. So I originally found it when I finished university and I took off to the UK with a UK work visa, but it was too cold and wet for me. So I found Lagos during that time here where we have more than 300 days of sunshine, and I found lots of cash work. So I worked about 30 jobs in my first couple of years in all the bars and hostels and on the boats, selling beers on this beach and babysitting. I tried everything, and then after 3 years of that, I started a tour company here in Lagos. So I now run Vagabundo Travel, which is a tour company that takes fun backpacker sort of orientated trips to the Benazil Cave, gorgeous sea cave, to the east of Lagos, and I swim everyone around to the cave and also to the beautiful west coast. So we have the end of the world here in Portugal, which is just beyond Sagres. And then out of COVID, when I could no longer fill my vans, I started taking walking tours. So I've learnt quite a bit of the history of Lagos now in Portugal, and it's quite rich. And I love taking people for a 2-hour walk in the morning and explaining some of that to them. It was also Lagos where I met my lovely wife Jessica, who's from the UK, from Leicester. And that was just 4 years ago we were married, and we've now welcomed our first baby daughter, little Paisley, who's 8 months old. So life's changed quite a bit since I first got to Lagos, but I'm loving all the changes. Alright guys, time for a bit of a Portuguese lesson for you all. I'm gonna try to teach you 1,000 words of Portuguese in about 2 minutes. And the way I'm gonna teach you is by showing you this gorgeous street art. Exists here in Lagos. This is dedicated to the Carnation Revolution, the revolution in Portugal in 1974. But I'll start by telling you what this says. So, Viva Abril, live April. Saúde, that's how we say cheers here in Portugal, but it also means health. Paz means peace. Liberdade means liberty. Educação means education. So if you see that little squiggle under the C, C for Cedilia, the C is pronounced with the S noise. Also, if you see that wave on top of the A, you'd pronounce that with the nasal noise, ow. So educação. So how would you pronounce this word, guys? You've got to be very careful with this one. So that would be pau. You've got to be careful because pau means bread and pau means dick. So you got to watch out. Maybe just order bread. But the way I'm going to teach you 1,000 words in Portuguese, guys, there are 6 endings in Portuguese words that are 90% of the time interchangeable for English endings. And we have 2 examples here. So liberdade. If you ever see D-A-D-E at the end of a Portuguese word, swap it for T-Y in English, and most likely you'll have the word. So here we would have liberty. But for instance, cidade, city, electricidade, celebridade, universidade, it works for most words. Also here we have educação. So if you see C-A-O with the markings on the C and the A, swap that for shun, T-I-O-N. In the English language, educação becomes education, motivação, motivation, celebração. I could go on. This works the same if it was S, A with a wave O, which also makes the noise sao. You'd swap that for shun, S-I-O-N in English. So televisão, transmissão, revisão, for instance. But here's a little saying with all 6 of those endings. All right, I made this up in my first ever Portuguese lesson. See if you can understand what I'm saying. The recepção, so reception, on the televisão, on the television, is normalmente, is normally, favorável, favorable, when showing a famoso, famous, celebridade, celebrity, Fabuloso.
Back in the States, I used to run every morning, and that was my cardio exercise, and then had a slight knee injury. I kind of gave up running for a couple of years. One of the great things about being here in the Algarve and in Lagos is with this beautiful beach just steps away from our apartment. I've begun running again each morning, and I meet other people with their dogs and swimming in the morning and running and walking, and it's great to be healthy again. Great to be able to run in such a beautiful place. Cheers.